On August 18, 2025, Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro announced the mobilization of more than 4.5 million civilian militias, citing what he described as new threats from the United States. This comes amid a heightened U.S. military presence in the southern Caribbean, including the deployment of guided missile destroyers and the doubling of the U.S. reward for Maduro's capture to $50 million. Analysts suggest that the move is both a domestic show of force and a strategic attempt to complicate U.S. military planning in the region. Maduro's promise to equip his militias with rifles and missile systems signals a shift toward integrating civilian forces into Venezuela's national defense strategy. This development has international implications, highlighting the fine line Caracas is attempting to walk between domestic mobilization, deterrence, and international pressure. The Venezuelan militia system dates back to Hugo Chavez, who created these forces as a civilian complement to the regular armed forces. While official figures claim close to 5 million members, independent experts estimate lower numbers. Regardless of the exact count, mobilizing and arming millions poses logistical challenges, especially given Venezuela's limited domestic weapons production and maintenance capacity. The country relies heavily on Russian-made small arms, particularly the AK-103 rifles manufactured under license at the Cavan plant. These rifles are expected to form the primary armament of the militias. However, Maduro's references to missile systems suggest a willingness to expand militia capabilities far beyond traditional small arms. Maduro's reference to missiles likely encompasses a range of systems acquired over decades. These include portable air defense systems. Manpads, the Russian Iglias system, allows militias and regular forces to target helicopters and low-flying aircraft. Anti-tank guided missiles. ATGM's weapons like the Cornet and Medicem, supplied by Moscow, enhance the military's ability to neutralize armored threats. Short-range air defense systems. The Swedish RBS-70, a laser-guided anti-aircraft system, remains in service and complements other air defense assets. Deploying these weapons among civilian forces carries inherent risks. However, from a strategic standpoint, it increases the potential cost and complexity of any foreign intervention, effectively creating a deterrent through asymmetric defense. Beyond the militia, Venezuela maintains a core of conventional forces equipped with advanced Russian and Chinese platforms. The S-300M anti-2500 long-range surface-to-air missile system, delivered in 2013, serves as the backbone of strategic air defense, capable of intercepting aircraft and ballistic missiles. Medium-range Buk M2E systems, upgraded Pachura 2M batteries, and Iglias Manpad provide a layered, multi-tiered air defense network, complicating potential U.S. air operations. The Venezuelan Air Force also fields Su-30MK-2 fighter jets, versatile aircraft with multi-role capabilities and sufficient range to patrol the Caribbean approaches. These fighters, combined with layered surface-to-air defenses, provide Caracas with a deterrent against both surveillance and strike operations. On the naval front, the Venezuelan Navy reportedly operates C-802A anti-ship missiles of Chinese origin and, more recently, Iranian CM-90 coastal defense missiles, confirmed in 2024. Although the effectiveness of these systems under combat conditions remains uncertain, their presence represents a credible threat to U.S. naval operations close to Venezuela's shores. Despite these capabilities, Venezuela cannot realistically match the United States in conventional operations. Instead, Caracas appears focused on asymmetry, using militias, anti-ship missiles, and layered air defenses to make any intervention costly and politically risky. This strategy is designed to deter action by raising the financial, operational, and human cost of potential U.S. or allied missions. Mobilizing millions of militias transforms any ground intervention into a prolonged, high-risk endeavor, while anti-ship and air defense systems increase the complexity of naval or aerial operations. Maduro's actions reverberate across Latin America, highlighting ideological and strategic divides. Cuba and Nicaragua continue to support Caracas politically and militarily, whereas Mexico has rejected U.S. accusations connecting Venezuela to organized crime networks. Historically, Washington has labeled Venezuela, Cuba, and Nicaragua as a troika of tyranny, framing its diplomatic and economic isolation strategies in a regional context. Internationally, Venezuela relies on Russia for aircraft, armored vehicles, and missile systems. China provides financial support and limited defense technology, and Iran contributes fuel and missile expertise. These partnerships, while primarily supportive rather than interventionist, offer Caracas political backing and potential covert assistance in the event of escalation. The United States has deployed multiple naval assets to the Caribbean, including guided missile destroyers, a nuclear-powered attack submarine, amphibious assault ships, and maritime patrol aircraft like the P-8A Poseidon. U.S. Marine Corps helicopters and expeditionary units provide mobility and direct support in the region. While framed as counter-narcotics operations, the deployment also sends a clear signal of capability and deterrence to Caracas. Maduro leverages this presence to reinforce his narrative of external aggression, using it to galvanize domestic support and justify the mobilization of civilian militias. By portraying U.S. forces as a direct threat, he strengthens political cohesion at home while deterring foreign military action. The large-scale militarization of Venezuelan civilians blurs the line between regular and irregular forces, raising the risk of protracted conflict. While Venezuela can impose costs on any intervening force, its economic and logistical constraints limit the sustainability of high-intensity operations. The current standoff also raises the possibility of internationalization. Any escalation could draw indirect involvement from Russia, China, and Iran, further complicating diplomatic and military dynamics in the Caribbean. The mobilization of over 4.5 million Venezuelan militias represents more than a domestic political gesture. It is a calculated move to deter U.S. pressure, assert national sovereignty, and consolidate political legitimacy. By emphasizing asymmetric capabilities, including manpads, layered air defenses, and anti-ship systems, Caracas seeks to elevate the costs of intervention. Nevertheless, the strategic imbalance with the United States remains profound. Any escalation risks drawing in global powers and extending the conflict beyond Venezuela's borders. With U.S. warships patrolling the Caribbean and millions of militias ready for mobilization, the region faces a tense standoff with potentially wide-ranging geopolitical consequences.